Bitter criticism. We have a crisis of dogs. Too much dogs in the other side of the road. I guess, my opinion, they were abandoned dogs. People in Chile, there's too much poverty because of globalism. If you don't believe me about globalism or Atlanticism, neoliberalism, just watch some photographs from Gabriel Boric and his boyfriend, Justin Trudeau. So, unfortunately, we have a. Unfortunately, Justin Trudeau seduced our president right here in Chile. I don't blame. I don't blame Boric. Trudeau is beautiful, but Chile is just Chile in Canada. They are just suffering misery, I guess, in my opinion, because there's a lot of people are complaining back in YouTube, in other pages. People are saying that Canada is not great anymore. Canada was never great. Like, make Canada great again. Canada was never great. No, Canada was great, but now is not so great because of globalism. That's my bet, you know. I bet on that. That's my analysis. And well, June 26th, 2 days ago, Fyodor Lukyanov, in Spanish, as I said, in Portuguese, we have this name, Luciano. So, Lukyanov, we are welcome. You have a Spanish name, don't worry. June 26th, Homeworld News, Fyodor Lukyanov. Julian Assange has become a symbol of resistance to the US government. So I like him. Nobody I mean, Pepe Escobar, nobody tell about him too much. Fyodor Lukyanov, they talk about Johnston and something, and a lot of people I never met, but I always reading them on Russia Today. So Julian Assange has become a symbol of resistance to the US government. The WikiLeaks founder is a man of great personal integrity who fell victim to changing Western attitudes about media freedom. Tommy, you will fight Peter Touch, I know that. Peter Touch is such a nice dog. Fyodor Lukyanov, the editor-in-chief of Russia in Global Affairs, chairman of the Presidium of the Council of Foreign and Defense Policy, and research director of the Valdai International Discussion Club. I was looking this site, and it was great. I don't remember, but I will have to watch it again. I want to be a member of this club. I want to be the queen of Valdai Club. What about that? A carnival, you know? A carnival celebration. We will have a blog, a whole blog. I will be a queen. Valdai Club. We have a photograph here. Julian Assange. Oh, I didn't show you. It's good to show you because after that, sometimes I feel like watching trying to read the headline. That was the headline, June 26th. Especially when I just read one in the bus, you know, one article. And well, we have a photograph, Julian Assange bearded. You know, I was watching the leftist media. People say leftists in the world, they were saying Julian Assange was dying. Julian Assange was fine, you know. Julian Assange was just fine. And we have a photograph. Julian Assange supporters are seen on the Wired Next Fest 2024 at Castello Sforzesco on June 15, 2024 in Milan, Italy. The long-running and epic persecution of Julian Assange seems to be coming to an end. The defendant has pleaded guilty to one of the charges against him: conspiracy to obtain and transmit classified information. He was sentenced to the time he has already served in a British prison, fighting extradition to the US, and now the case is closed. Assange's deal with the US Department of Justice is a relief for everyone. The journalist and activist himself cannot be criticized for agreeing. He has repeatedly demonstrated his personal integrity and courage, and there is no point in sacrificing himself for nothing. As for the American side, Assange's hypothetical deportation to the United States will trigger another social and political conflict. Yeah, that's what I thought, but I didn't remember the election year, you know. So now it's all settled. There will be an election year, and everybody knows that right now. Biden wants to be, you know, is even more complex than that, because Biden didn't. It was not Biden that imprisoned this guy, Julian Assange, you know. It was Obama. I don't know. It was, yeah, I guess it was Obama. the Nobel Prize. So that's democracy, people. It's just I don't know, you know. I don't know. I guess China is better, you know, for sure. You know, you will say, "Oh, China is terrible." I mean, the world, the free world. As I was listening this Atlantic Council something, they were saying, "Oh, Peru is better now than Venezuela because Peru is free, and Venezuela is not." It's just global south, you know. China is just global south. You have to go back 2 centuries, you know, 2 centuries to understand why China is poor. Maybe it's because they were arrogant, they were taking a lot of drugs by opium. That's true. But the matter of the fact is, the new world system, capitalism, is abusive, you know. It is an abusive system. That's the whole truth. And well, China right now is doing great thanks to communism, fighting against imperialism. And well, on the one side we have China, which is making real progress thanks to communism and thanks to the Chinese millenary experience, you know, millenary civilizations. And in the other side we have the United States of America, which is always making a plot, always making a play, pretending to be democratic. Joe Biden is pretending to be democratic by releasing Julian Assange. We will believe that. Will someone believe Joe Biden is democratic? What will be the future for Julian Assange? For Julian Assange himself, you know? What Biden will do against Julian Assange if Julian Assange keep doing whatever a journalist should do. Well, Biden will kill Julian Assange, you know. So democracy is like people say. There's no more democracy. There are illiberate. I forgot now. Illiberate democracy, something like that, because they are not liberal anymore, you know. They are plutocrats. So plutocrat Democrats killing people, killing Julian Assange. So you have to do a good option, you know, and I guess Trump is the best option by now, you know. But it's very, very interesting how the far right is changing. Maybe it's just because of the development of the history, you know, like this is inevitable that in 21st century the world will be ultra globalized, markets will be globalized, interconnected, and there will be no chance for wars in even under right wing. Maybe that's a naive thought, but maybe it's true, you know, because why the far right is advocating for peace, you know, for peace. And well, last century they were making a lot of war. Anyway, no, I know that left wing is the only far left is the only solution for peace, you know, for war. That's it. So the long running, Assange's deal with the U.S. Department. The defendant has pleaded guilty to one of the charges against him: conspiracy to obtain and transmit classified information. He was sentenced to the time he has already served in a British prison, filing extradition to the U.S. And now the case is closed because there were 20 years in prison, you know, 20 years outside, inside, in jail, you know, in prison. Anyway, Assange's deal with the U.S. Department of Justice is a relief for everyone. The journalist and activist himself cannot be criticized for agreeing. He has repeatedly demonstrated his personal integrity and courage, and there is no point in sacrificing himself for nothing. As for the American side, Assange's hypothetical deportation to the United States will trigger another social and political conflict, and a confusing one at that. In favor of the WikiLeaks founder are many on the left and some on the right, namely those who consider their own government to be anti-citizen and anti-dictatorial. Against him are the official bureaucracy, nowadays more so on the left, and conservative patriots who consider him a traitor. There's already a lot of strife and polarization in American politics, so they hardly want to add more in the middle of an election campaign. Yeah, well, that was a great paragraph. I will read it again. No, it's huge, but the part where he's explaining everything is great. Look. As for the American side, Assange's hypothetical deportation to the United States will trigger another social and political conflict, and a confusing one at that. In favor of the WikiLeaks founder are many on the left and some on the right, namely those who consider their own government to be anti-citizen and dictatorial, the anti-globalists. Because it's true, you know, globalism, neoliberalism is misery, you know, absolutely misery. So we have to vote Trump if there's no more option, you know. If Bernie Sanders will not win, and then it's Trump, and then it's nothing, nothing but resistance, nothing but misery, nothing but Biden misery. And dictatorial. Against him are the official bureaucracy. Against him are the official globalist bureaucracy, nowadays more so on the left, and conservative patriots who consider him a traitor. There's already a lot of strife and polarization in American politics, so they hardly want to add more in the middle of an election campaign. Anyway, if this is indeed the case, one can only be glad. It is also interesting to see how the overall situation has changed over the years for WikiLeaks. Assange himself has undoubtedly become a symbol of resistance to the American government, a legend and hero to like-minded people around the world. But the perception of the information made public by his work has changed over the 20 years of his activity. Yeah, maybe that's normal. Like WikiLeaks now will talk about fashion, you know. WikiLeaks now will talk about celebrities. The founders of WikiLeaks believed that in a democracy, citizens have a right to know what their elected leaders are up to, how closely those actions match what they say they are doing, and where their more secretive policies are leading. Almost immediately, the revelations were widely publicized, especially as they concerned two unpopular U.S. military campaigns in Iraq and Afghanistan. The publication of a huge trove of diplomatic correspondence between U.S. embassies around the world and Washington caused a furor. It did not contain anything super sensational, but it did reveal a large number of assessments that were clearly not intended to public consumption. In general, the main effort of the whistleblowers has to demonstrate the hypocrisy of American policy. This could hardly be news to anyone, but it is one thing to have a general idea, another to have tangible evidence. WikiLeaks' popularity peaked around 15 years ago. After that, Assange was systematically persecuted, attempts were made to block the site, and the project itself began to experience the inevitable disagreements that are part of any evolving process. But the environment was also changing. The phenomenon of post-truth, which was already being talked about in the noughties, has grown to such an extent that it has come to define the information landscape. The most common description of this concept is that it's based on people's willingness to accept arguments based on their beliefs and emotions rather than on what's actually true. Accordingly, facts that contradict beliefs and emotions are often simply ignored or, at most, reinterpreted to fit their required narrative. While this process began more as an act of information warfare, over time, rather quickly, it has become a structural element of the entire communication space. Discussion becomes less and less possible because the arguments of the other side are not considered worthwhile, because they are labeled as deliberately falsified. And this approach has spread rapidly almost all over the world. I will not be paying attention, but I'm sure it's great. Someday I will see myself these videos, or nobody will see it. But I know Fyodor Lukyanov is a great Luciano guy. In such an atmosphere, exposes do not lose their importance, but may fulfill a different function. No one believes in the independence of individual publications, or should I say, only those whose worldview they align with are willing to believe, and the other side now simply ignores them. In this sense, the evolution of Seymour Hersh exposés is revealing. In the 2000s, his publications on Abu Ghraib prison caused a huge scandal and had a major impact on US policy. Now the veteran journalist revelations, be they about Nord Stream or stories about the background of the Ukrainian conflict, have no impact on US policy and do not even trigger the need to respond in any way. To be fair, Hirsch's revelations uses to be more thoroughly evidence-based. The same can be said of the part taken by WikiLeaks. Then the resource force appeared. It was compared to the publication of the Pentagon Papers in the early 1970s. The leak of data of the Vietnam War organized by the Peace Party in the US High Command at the time. It is no coincidence that in the early years the material provided by Assange's group was first published by the most prestigious newspapers in Western countries, but then it was reclassified as enemy disinformation, or at least as narratives that favored adversaries. Interestingly, the veracity of these leaks has been never in doubt, but the goalposts were elegantly shifted from what is it about to who benefits from it. And that is a very different conversation in the spirit of a new round of the Cold War. This in no way detracts from Assange's sincerity and idealism. He is a man of integrity, but it says a lot about how the public mood has changed. This article was first published by Rossiyskaya Gazeta newspaper, translated and edited by Russia Today team. Well, wait for me there in Valdai Club. I will take some Chilean liquor, some Chilean alcohol, and some Brazilian music to make a carnival party, and stop discussing. No, discussion club. What a nice club. And that's it. I guess WikiLeaks were never. I guess, yeah, definitely. But my opinion, human nature, people just avoid any criticism. People just avoid any conflict. That's it. People just don't like conflict. People don't like to fight. People just like pleasure. 20th Century Fox movies, Hollywood movies, which is dangerous in my opinion, because it's it destroys your brain. Not metaphorical. You will have a stroke just by watching Hollywood movies. I guarantee you. So be critical is better for you. You will survive. That's what I think. Yeah, reading articles, Fyodor Lukyanov, is good for your brain. Anyway, we have another one. A lot of news as always. Just Russia Today right till the end. I was listening Queen, the band, the United Kingdom band, Freddie Mercury band. United Kingdom people, English people, they are warriors, They have a lot of songs about war. This we will rock you. We are the champions. No time for losers. I was watching this movie about naval battles from 20th Century Fox. Well, what I think is this too much happiness? It's too much. Once I was in Brazil, back in Brazil, in Salvador, Bahia. I was in the Pelourinho. I was there in a touristic zone, and there were two American citizens by my side. They thought, their impression, their reaction about Bahia people is that they were too lazy, and they were bored about it, they were. So I guess English people, they are kind of reactive, reactionary. They have more energy. Geographically, an island in front of Europe. It was interesting to fight them, to fight all over the world, That was a great movie because naval power was made United Kingdom bones, and it's debatable, you know, what is the best way to live. Fortunately, we just live 80 years, 80 years on average, and we cannot choose how we are going to live, you know. If people are lazy around the world, if Chinese people take a lot of drugs, you should give them more drugs. That will be good for you, not for them, you know. That's it, you know. This is a complicated world, and you have to fight. And well, I'm nihilist. I don't know if making war is good or bad. I'm just hoping for World War III in Europe and United States, you know. I'm in Chile right now. I just want to keep reading news to know all of it. I guess John Mearsheimer is right, unfortunately. John Mearsheimer said there will be no nuclear war ever because it's just too drastic. People will have to dialogue, or Vladimir Putin will kill you, you know. That's it, you know. Europe was trying to make whatever they did always, which is to invade and take all the goods from Russia, like a colonial land, a land to conquer. Pepe Escobar said, this guy from this Orthodox priest, I don't remember where, it wasn't a terrorist attack, it was made by MI6. So this is the warrior mentality. I hope they never kill me here, but if they want to kill me, you should deal with Tommy too, you know. Tommy looks nice, but he's not. Anyway, June 27, 2024, home Russia and former Soviet Union. Russia preparing to ban extremists while free ideology. Russia preparing to ban extremists still free ideology. I guess this is right, but it's very, very polemical, isn't it? The country needs tools to protect its traditional values, the Deputy Justice Minister has said. And we have a couple silhouette against the setting sun on the seafront, planning to have kids or already making some kids, you know. The woman is maybe pregnant right now, so we have a photograph. Yeah, Russia is very conservative because they need kids, you know. They need fertility. And well, I'm a single Russian woman. I love women, Russian movies, Russian women like Maria Zakharova. Maria Sharapova. I'm sorry, Pepe. Maria Zakharova is a nice woman, but I prefer Maria Sharapova, Anna Kurnikova, Alla Bruletova. Anyway, Russian lawmakers have prepared a draft bill that will ban child-free ideology in the country. Deputy Justice Minister Svetoslav Vukolov has said the active promotion of childlessness has become increasingly common over the past decade, and is an extremist ideology that Russia should resist. Vukolov argued on Thursday in a speech at the St. Petersburg International Legal Forum. We are now actively preparing bills to prevent the spread of child-free ideology, he said. We should not be able to promote ideas that nowadays girls, especially young ones, do not need to give birth. They can do without children, the official added. A legislative system should be created to counter such negative social trends in Russia and other countries that share the same traditional values, the deputy minister argued. These laws must be worked out and promoted, and they must become the tools to protect our values. This is the main task, he explained. Speaking to journalists after his speech, Vukolov confirmed that a bill banning the promotion of a child-free lifestyle has been put forward in the Russian parliament. The legislation will now be studied by experts in the field, he added. The Justice Ministry will react when concrete proposals are presented, he stressed. Vukolov added that the state should not only operate through bans, but also to do more to create social conditions that encourage couples to have children. In November last year, Russia's Supreme Court outlawed the international LGBTQ public movement in the country, designating it as an extremist organization. The move followed a law banning sex change operations signed by Russian President Vladimir Putin earlier in 2024. In February, the state statistics agency Rosstat revealed that only 1,264 million babies were born in Russia in 2023, the lowest number since 1999. According to the agency's forecast, birth rates will only start growing after 2028. By 2046, the Russian population is projected to decline to 138 million. So are very few, actually. Very, very few. Brazil, it has more than 210 millions. And Russia, well, but I guess if global warming keep going, if the world keep getting warming, I guess there will be better conditions to have kids in Russia. I guess. You know what Vladimir Putin should do is give me a ticket, give me a plane ticket to ride. Yeah, I will go to Russia singing "She's got a ticket to ride." Not like a gay, of course. She's got a ticket to ride. She's got a ticket to ride. What about huh? I'm sorry. During an address to the Federal Assembly in February, President Putin said that a large family with many children should become the norm. The philosophy of social life, the guideline of the entire strategy of the state. According to the Russian leader, over the next 6 years, the population should achieve a sustainable increase in its birth rates. But in my opinion, talking about myself, why have or not have children with someone? I guess it's all a matter. Yeah, maybe I'm completely banned from Russia because I'm making it difficult. I don't have kids. I guess I'm too poor. There was no opportunities back in Brazil. There was no jobs. There's no jobs in Chile neither. And that's it. You cannot have children in capitalism without a lot of money. That's the sad truth about capitalism. And well, in my opinion, it's even harder because, in my case, it's even harder because I think I should have beautiful kids, and well, and I should like the culture of my spouse, and I don't like Brazilian or Chilean culture. I prefer Brazilian culture, but I guess Brazil is too violent. I have a lot of conditions, aesthetically I like a brownie woman. I guess I'm not that white, Anyway, a lot of conditions. So I was thinking a lot, and I decided that my wife, the mother of my kids, will be a Mexican woman. That kind of woman, like a woman like Ocasio-Cortez, Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, the Mexican-American politician. Yeah, I'm asking too much. Maybe I'm asking too much, but that's what I want. A brownie woman, a brownie Mexican woman. I guess they are in Oaxaca, in Oaxaca region, and that's it. You know, I don't really wanna have kids in Chile. That would be suicidal. That's the truth about. Ask everybody, ask anyone. Capitalism is just too hard to survive, you know, to survive alone with dogs, you know. That's the whole truth about capitalism. And then I set my conditions, you know. It has to be a Mexican beautiful woman like Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, and that's it. What a moron, isn't it? I'm sorry, Putin. But and of course, if Russia is a great well, and I love a blonde woman, but you know my face. If I have kids with a blonde woman, my kids will be not blonde. My kids will be not I don't know, Hispanic. What the hell will be my kids? You know, completely mixed. So I'm kind of fascist for statics issues, you know. I guess but I also guess Russian people, they are very mixed too, you know. They are not always not all of them are blonde. I know that. So yeah, call me if you are a Russian woman, but in Russian woman, they are not like that neither, you know. They are not easy. But yeah, I'm single. I want to marry the twin sister of Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, and that's it. So call me if you are a Russian Ocasio-Cortez woman. I love you. June 27, 2024. Home world news. U.S. uses national security as a veil to hide war crimes, Assange's lawyer. Well, it's all about Assange. Assange is so famous. Everybody's envy Assange because his guts, because his courage, and because his fame. So Julian Assange is the guy of the moment. U.S. uses national security as a veil to hide war crimes, Assange's lawyer. The journalist's persecution was revenge for publishing embarrassing information, Heitor Martinez says. The Julian Assange, we have here some flyers. Someone is doing communist activity. Is Julian Assange communist? That's a great question. You know, I guess he should be communist. You know, it's like in Brazil. Back in Brazil, for example, there's a street art video mapping site-specific projection collective projecting injustice things like Julian Assange, for example. I'm pretty sure about that. They are not communists. I asked them if they are communists, and they say no. We are just like WikiLeaks. We just seek the truth. But in my opinion, they should be all of them. Julian Assange, Coletivo Projetação, right here in Chile, the lie something, I don't remember. This collective militation, not militars, but I forgot the word. Everyone who fight for justice should be communist, in my opinion. We should trust our lives to Xi Jinping, in my opinion, to Communist Chinese Party. China Communist Party will make a way for a better world, in my opinion. The Julian Assange saga has clearly shown that the U.S. has been using its national security as a veil to hide. I don't know what's a veil, like a fakery, yeah, a veil. I'll try to search this later. National security as a veil to hide war crimes. One of the WikiLeaks founders, attorney Heitor Martinez, has said, the years-long persecution of the publisher and the extradition case have also set a very dangerous precedent, which threatens the whole concept of press freedom, the lawyer added. At the same time, the Assange case had become growingly toxic for the US administration, sprouting numerous groups advocating his release and effectively turning into a global movement, Martinez suggests. Quote, the truth is that the US administrations had been pushing for the extradition process until recently, and indeed, just a few weeks ago, they had even provided diplomatic assurances seeking the effective handover of Julian Assange. However, in recent times, a citizen movement has emerged against this extradition, and I believe there is no corner of the world where a free Assange movement has not sprung up, the lawyer stated. The timing of the abrupt resolution of a years-long affair is likely linked to the looming US presidential elections and the ongoing campaign, where it was bound to emerge one way or another. The case in some way tarnished. This is another word I don't know, tarnished. So yeah, what is tarnished? This I have no clue on that word, tarnished. Way tarnished the image of the United States before the world, giving it mean the political persecution of a journalist who simply published truthful information that evidenced the commission of serious war crimes, Martinez noted. Therefore, unquestionably, the Assange case will have arisen in the framework of the presidential debates, and this was the only way to end a case that undeniably did not pay in favor of the image of the US in the world, he said. While politicians in Washington have ultimately opted to wrap up the affair, the US intelligence community has regarded it as a personal vendetta of sorts against the journalists, Martinez claimed. Quote, this case has been radically pushed by the US intelligence establishment and mainly by the CIA as a form of revenge against Julian Assange for the material he had published, which in some way had revealed the shame of the US military in operations abroad, he said. And that's it. It's time for my glorious yoga. Woo! People say it's not yoga. I guess yoga is absolutely overrated, you know. What is yoga anyway, you know? I guess there's no mysticism on yoga. It's just stretching. I don't know if I'm stretching or what the hell I'm doing. I don't care. I'm trying to survive here, listening Daniel Jadwe again and again. Daniel Jadwe is in prison. Free Daniel Jadwe. The world.
Los alcaldes demócratas cristianos que ganan las elecciones y quieren los votos de los comunistas.
We will win civil war.
El próximo año van a ser candidatos a diputados o a senadores, algunos de los cuales tendrán que necesitar los votos de los comunistas. ¿Qué piensan de lo que dice Cifuentes? ¿No? Que si los comunistas somos descartables, bueno, entonces que lo digan. Porque hoy yo percibo que nos van a ir a buscar para tener, entre comillas, esa unidad, pero además que están tratando de que, lo están tratando los socialistas también, de que la cuota y la factura de la unidad la paguemos siempre nosotros, y hay algunos que nos van a querer arrinconar. Yo creo que efectivamente no es el camino, ni el de la Matei, ni el de Cifuentes, que en esto se parece mucho, ¿no? Esto de andar, porque además es como el desprecio a la democracia, es como pensar que en Chile pueden todos ser candidatos presidenciales, menos los comunistas, o sea, todos pueden ser. los de derecha, los ladrones, los concertacionistas, los demócratas cristianos, pero los comunistas son los únicos que no. Entonces, no muy democráticos. Yo creo que Cifuentes le merece una explicación, porque además estamos a puertas de que tengan que cumplir el compromiso de votar por un comunista para presidir la Cámara que él preside.
And that's it.
Entonces la pregunta es, ¿va a cumplir la palabra?
Now it's time for Tommy Communist.
¿O se va a correr?
Tommy Communist, Tommy Soviet, Tommy Zangief. You know Zangief from Street Fighter? This is just Tommy Zangief. Yeah, I will. Yeah. Hey, Vladimir Putin. Withdraw from capitalism, please. Forget capitalism. Restore communism. We will do just fine. Nobody will. We are sick of Nike shoes. We are sick of Nike shoes. We don't want more Nike shoes, please. They are not so great. You want me to make great sneakers for the Soviets? I will. I will take Tommy to Soviet Union. Tommy will be Zangief. We'll have a lot of Zangiefs. Tommy, abajo. Want to see Tommy fighting Peter Touch over there? No, no. Look, Tommy, I didn't do that. Looks like Tommy, isn't it, Milu? And that's it. That's it. Not sure where Tommy is. Tommy is Tommy wants to be friend of Peter Touch, but problem is Peter Touch himself. Peter Touch himself, he is a tough guy too. Peter Touch is will be like this guy. I don't remember this mystical. I don't remember the name. Peter Touch and Rasputin. Rasputin. Peter Touch Rasputin. What about that? Not me. Not Rasputin.